Nosferatu is a 2024 American Gothic horror film written and directed by Robert Eggers. It is a remake of the Nosferatu Symphony of Horror film released in 1922. Itself an unauthorized adaptation of Bram Stoker's novel Dracula, released in 1897. It stars Bill Skarsgård, Nicholas Hoult and Lily-Rose Depp. The supporting cast includes Aaron Taylor-Johnson, Emma Corrin and Willem Dafoe. Development began in 2015 when Eggers planned to make it his second film. He described it as a passion project, but eventually opted to delay its production. Skarsgård and Depp were then cast in lead roles in September 2022. Filming took place primarily at Barrandov Studios in Prague between February and May of 2023. The film would go on to gross $180.2 million worldwide against a $50 million budget, becoming Eggers' highest-grossing film. At the 97th Academy Awards, the film earned nominations for Best Cinematography, Best Costume Design, Best Production Design, Best Makeup and Hairstyling. Some trivia facts. The character of Orlok is partially inspired by Vlad Dracula, the 15th century voivode of Orlantia, whom the original Dracula was named after. Director Eggers preferred to the appearance of a folk vampire, claiming that there's never been a version of Dracula or Nosferatu dressed like a Transylvanian nobleman with authentic Hungarian attire from the 16th century. He wanted the Count to be written more like an undead corpse instead of looking sexy or an actual monster, as an element of early vampire myths. Costume designer Linda Moore sought inspiration from Transylvanian military from around 1560 to mid-1600s. Eggers also explained that he gave Orlok a moustache because there's no way this guy didn't have a moustache. In old Transylvanian culture, all men who could grow a moustache would have one. Initially, Anya Taylor-Joy was cast, re-teaming with Eggers after The Witch in 2015. She was still attached to the project in 2020, though her specific role had not been announced. Harry Styles then had also been cast to star opposite Taylor-Joy, but dropped out of the project in 2021, citing scheduling conflicts. Eggers initially considered several talents to play the role of Count Orlok, including Daniel Day-Lewis and Mads Mikkelsen. Finally, on September 30th, 2022, it was announced that Swedish actor Bill Skarsgård would star in the role of Count Orlok, whom Eggers had in mind for the film adaptation years earlier. However, before he was offered the role of the film's titular vampire, Skarsgård had originally auditioned for and been offered the role of Thomas Hutter. After many failed attempts to make the film, Skarsgård's portrayal of Pennywise in It and It Chapter 2 attracted popularity, adding to the recasting decision. The addition of actress Lily-Rose Depp replacing Anya Taylor-Joy was announced on September 30th, 2022. Then in January 2023, Willem Dafoe would join the cast, re-teaming with Eggers after The Lighthouse and The Northman. Dafoe had previously played Max Schreck or Count Orlok in The Shadow of the Vampire, released in 2000. Additionally, the film also features 5,000 trained rats. To prepare for playing Count Orlok, Skarsgård lost a significant amount of weight and refused to have his voice digitally modulated, working with an Icelandic opera singer to lower his vocal range and character, incorporating Mongolian throat singing into his lines, and spent up to 6 hours a day having prosthetic makeup applied. Skarsgård likened his experience to conjuring pure evil. The film makes use of several custom-made props, some of which were kept by actors after filming. Eggers gifted Depp the prop of Ellen's locket, and Hoult kept and framed Orlok's prosthetic penis, worn by Skarsgård, in the film. The scene of Hutter's arrival in the Transylvanian village was captured in one take. The sequence is made up of non-professional Romani actors, musicians and dancers, and features an appearance by Czech musician and actor Jordan Haj. Roughly 30 takes were filmed of what Eggers said was all very carefully choreographed and rehearsed ahead of time in a warehouse in Prague. The village set was built outside of Prague and was based on the crew's studies of vernacular architecture, museums in Romania and Transylvania. The language Orlok speaks in the film is the extinct Dacanian language, while Romanian and Romani were spoken by the other Transylvanian residents. Now I was absolutely blown away by this version of Nosferatu. This is a truly dark, epic, gothic piece of filmmaking, directed beautifully here by Robert Eggers, who really shows a lot of love and passion for the project. Bill Skarsgård is absolutely magnificent here, mesmerizing as Count Orlok, and he brings the vampire to life with such perfection, leaving you fearful of every scene that he's in. Now, of course, the original Nosferatu is a complete and utter rip-off of the Count Dracula novel by Bram Stoker. But due to the producers at the time being able to get copyright on the Dracula novel, they had to reinvent the characters, as it were. But literally, Nosferatu is a copy and paste from the original Dracula piece. But in many ways, it really captures the true spirit of the vampiric character. Here we have basically the manifestation of pure, unadulterated evil. Max Schreck, who of course famously played the character in Nosferatu, Symphony of Horror in 1922, is still considered one of the prolific and defining films of the horror genre. And I'm happy to say Nosferatu brings this film to life in a modern context. Albeit that I respect what Eggers was trying to bring forth in terms of the look of the character, I personally was hoping to see more of the original look of Max Schreck, with the bold, unblinking eyes. But Skarsgård makes the character his own in this film and does a superb job. Lily-Rose Depp is excellent here, as is Nicholas Hoult, not to mention a fantastic turn from Willem Dafoe. Unfortunately though, I feel Aaron Taylor-Johnson is miscast and seemingly somewhat wooden. In saying that though, this is an epic piece of filmmaking, brilliantly directed, beautifully acted, stunningly dark and gothic, mesmerizing, and a psychological thriller that will leave you breathless at times, feeling unnerved and uneasy. With its beautiful direction, fantastic cinematography, costumes, and excellent performances, particularly from Bill Skarsgård, Nosferatu gets a 9 out of 10.